Welcome to the Solo Dungeon, where we create zero prep adventures and crawl through a brutal grimdark world, one bad decision at a time. Last you saw me, I was just out of the kingdom's lumber camps, where I earned my name pit fighting for the amusement of men too broken to care. They call me Gorehound. First job on the outside, rat killer for the Broken Crown Tavern. Sounded simple. Turned into a dungeon crawl under the swamp-rotted town of Clubfoot Cross. I drank from a pool that hadn't moved in a century and puked blood all over the stone. Crawled out barely. Found a church. Spent what little silver I had buying healing. But they offered more than medicine. They offered a place. Said I could be a guide. Lead pilgrims into the Evernether. First step, kill a man. Said he was highborn, a deviant, a pervert, a murderer. So I stabbed him in the back. Easy. But as he bled out, he pressed a letter into my hand. It told a different story. Said the High Dawn, the biggest church in the land, wasn't saving souls, it was feeding demons. Look, I'm not one for moral crisis. I'm one for gold. And they paid me well. Promised more. So it's dawn, and I'm standing beside a mule-drawn carriage with 3 clean-faced parishioners waiting for me to lead them into the dark. They're already getting on my nerves. Too clean, too blessed, too full of faith they don't understand. Makes it easy to keep quiet about what's really waiting down there. And think about the horse I'll buy when this is over. An hour south, one of them, Anwin, young blonde, intricate braids, leans forward.
Mr. Gorehound, will we be stopping for lunch soon?
Calder, the smiling, blue-eyed boy beside her, chimes in.
I brought a bit of extra Durham bread this morning. It's still warm.
I shrug. Sounds like something easily eaten in the cart. Then Dren, a chubby teen already pale from the ride, mutters,
I'm afraid I might be sick if we don't stop soon.
I look around, eyes narrowing on the road ahead. New territory. Same old dread. So, welcome back. As we begin, we're on this mission. We just got to a new territory, so the first thing we're going to do is build a territory, and I'm going to show you how to do that. When you arrive in a new location on the map, you go to the world building section, and depending on what type of map piece it is, this one is trodden. And what trodden means is there's a road, and that defines some of the key aspects. So we're going to roll on the trodden generator table, because what we want to create is a landmark that is the definitive, memorable memory anchor for each location we discover. Because over time, as you build your game, this creates a map that you can travel in your mind and actually retain. Like, you can see it in your brain and you can just walk around your world. It's an incredible feeling, and it relies on using memory pegs or memory strategies. I don't know if you know anything about like memory training, you know what I'm talking about. But what these guys do is they try to, like the guys that memorize deck of cards or like long strings of numbers, what they're doing is associating those cards or numbers with really like obscure and bizarre things in their mind, because our brains can remember original stuff really well. So when you're building your world, just be crazy. Like, really try and create something that you'll never forget, and you won't. All right, let's get to it. So I'm here in the trodden generator, and so I'm going to start by rolling the first table, and that is weathered. And we'll just start also adding this into our world building thing, which I'll also show you. And in our journal, each tile, there's 100 of them on a map. 10 by 10 is how you create an Enginotica map.
I know it's not as interesting looking maybe as hex maps or other types of stuff, but again, it's very important to have a map that you can move mentally through. It doesn't look square in your mind. It's kind of a weird trick, but that's the thing. As you learn about dream logic and how that translates to theater of the mind play, you'll see that this is actually the best way to create and craft your world. So each tile is numbered 1 through 100, and so we were in Clubfoot Cross, that's 75, and so if you move right below that, it's 85. Really easy to actually even keep track of the numbers in your mind too, once you know the pattern. So here, tile 85, trodden, we'll start with weathered, and then we'll roll the next page here on the generator, a shattered statue. Okay, so we have a weathered shattered statue in a fog marsh, and that is our building block to try and help us create some sort of memorable salient element, which in this case is this weathered statue. And what I would always recommend is a weathered statue on its own is probably not quite interesting enough to make it to where you'll never forget it. So let's think of a way to make this statue really bizarre. And the way that I'm going to help generate this statue is with a local legend. I'm going to roll a local legend, and how I would know what this is I would just ask one of these kids, like, have you heard, the story behind that statue? That's as simple as that. And I would then roll, but in the case of these kids, like, they're amiable to me, so I don't really need to roll, they're gonna tell me. And so I'm just asking one of the kids, what do you know about this area? And and then I roll on the local legends table. And so first I've gotten band singing at the demand of the merchants due to unrest in low passes. And so that tells me that this statue was toppled because it represented some sort of symbol for rebellion. And since it's singing being the theme of this rebellion, perhaps they sang to signal each other or to mobilize. And singing's kind of something you can get away with in some cases, because it can be ambiguous, I guess, what the meaning is. That's how art is a powerful, or in history, art was always a powerful weapon for fighting the man, right? Because you can kind of get away with it with art. So let's say that this statue, a shattered statue of the singing bandit. Singing bandit. It's a singing bandit. All right, good enough. So we're not going to dig too far into it for right now. That's the best I got, and that's enough. So now that I know what I'm looking at, we just pulled our wagon in. I see a shattered statue of a singing bandit in a fog marsh that's very weathered. And this is not the nicest place, obviously. Oh, let's roll danger. Ooh, okay. So as the children are asking Gorehound for lunch, I think we rolled. Let me check the danger level for trodden. Danger is not too bad in trodden areas, but we still rolled a level 2 challenge. Whenever you roll and fail a danger roll, the level at which you missed that danger becomes the level of the challenge. And so let's roll on this challenge table. 39. Agility test, leaping a gap. So I'm imagining this statue of this bandit is in the middle of a dry fountain. And not dry, it's got some kind of sludgy black liquid in it. And in the middle of that, like at the feet of the statues, are some offerings that people have placed there, but it's a little bit of a leap to get there without stepping in the sludge in the fountain. And I am a greedy bastard, so I'm going to try and jump because I see 3 silver at the statue like an offering. And so while these kids are eating, and of course they are judging harshly, once they realize what I'm up to, that I'm stealing and offering from, I'm presumably not their god, but, just the whole general idea I think is unsettling for them. All right, so I got real lucky and I clinched. So what we're gonna say is that I jumped to the middle and I made the jump and I got the coin in the middle, but when I went to jump out, I landed in the sludge and got this stuff all over my pants. And I can tell that the children enjoy this and think, of course, this is well-deserved for karmically speaking as they eat their little sandwiches. And I'm just going to sort of walk off and go look around the area while they eat. And what I'm going to do is actually hunt for a dungeon, because the truth is, I don't know where the Evernether is at this point. I have to find it. And it has to be on a trodden area because I'm pulling these kids in a mule-pulled cart. So I have to stay on the roads. And the Evernether is only going to intersect with the roads in certain areas. I'll show you real quick with the on the map. Here's where we are. We're just south of the town. And those little dotted lines are the Evernether. So it intersects here, and I can try again on the next 2 blocks to the east of. Hopefully I find a dungeon, and even if I find a dungeon, that doesn't mean it's going to be a path to the Evernether. But worst can happens is, So these kids, they're going to be coming on a trip as long as it takes for me to get what I need. All right, so let's roll for a dungeon and see if we find one. And so every territory has all these helices that you can use to find things like grass, cordage. They all have different levels. And so we'll roll against the dungeon entrances, which is +5, which is pretty unlikely that we're going to beat it. Yeah. So no dungeon entrance found in this helix. So we're or in this map tile. So we're definitely just going to let them finish eating and move on down the road. I'm going to update the journal. And it's now 8 a.m. I'm going to put it to 9 for this break. Actually, I'll do to 9:30, and that'll be the time it's going to be when we arrive in the next helix, unless we run into any trouble. So I go back to their luncheon, and I observe Calder and Dren and Anwin with their little white flowing outfits, and they're all bright-eyed and probably singing some annoying little hymn or something. Just Kool-Aid drinkers. And they're probably smiling at me, trying to get me to join in, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to gruffly grunt because I'm surly and mean.
You guys done yet?
Are you sure you wouldn't want to join us in a nice prayer, Mr. Gorehound?
Yeah, get in the cart.
We're in 85, and now we're going to just travel to 86, because to the right is going to be just one number up. And so first thing, let's just go ahead and roll what we see when we first arrive at the central destination of the next location. And so we have a shadowed tavern. Now we're talking my language. We're going to teach these kids a little something on this trip. They're going to learn today. What's the area like, though? Rot grass expanse. Love that. Sometimes you'll get kind of like a random proprietor, especially in trodden areas, and that's awesome because now we have another tavern to look at. And I'm going to use... There is a tavern name generator in the book, and I'm going to pull it up, and let's roll a tavern name. The Drowned Rider. Makes perfect sense. Probably riding, I'm imagining a highwayman riding a seahorse. And we're not super far from the coastline, so it makes sense. I'm going to ask the dice, do I see a lot of commotion or people outside near this tavern? No. Good. Because I just want to kind of pull to the side of the road and tell these kids to stay out of sight and shut up while I go check something real quick, and that I'll be back in 1 hour. And I'm going to go look for a dungeon in the area. And let's see how they respond to that. They seem very concerned. So let's say Anwin, Mr. Gorehound, you're going to leave us alone here? What if someone comes and hurts us? She's not wrong. Oh, let's roll the danger. And so they're safe right now. There's no danger in the area. And I am going to just tell those kids to buck up.
You kids, stay out of sight. Stay out of the tavern. Go in those bushes. Sing your dumb songs quietly. I'll be back in an hour.
Let's update the time. So we'll say 11 a.m. and let's roll for dungeons. And one thing to recall that's kind of rough is that dungeons are not likely on roads. So this is, but you know what? If I don't find a dungeon on this tile or the next tile, we're just gonna leave the cart because the cart's not gonna go down into the dungeons anyway. And I'm gonna need to just put these kids on foot. So let's, but first, let's see if we get lucky. Let's roll for the dungeon. No dungeon. And so, I think I'm gonna go back and we'll try once more on the next bit of trodden ground. And that's gonna be it. Otherwise, after that, we're gonna go into the wilderness or even maybe the Badlands and find a proper entrance to a dungeon. Traveling now from the Rotgrass Expanse to tile 87, trodden. Okay, let's roll it up. Okay, wind bitten, a toll ring, in a trampled weald. And I'm gonna ask the dice, is this toll ring manned? Yes. So it looks like we have a faction or a group that is charging a toll on the road. I doubt I'm gonna want to deal with that. So I'm going to park the wagon again. Oh, roll for danger. Ooh. Nope, we're okay. -5 danger on the road. The roads are, that's the thing about the roads. They're pretty safe for travel compared to other areas. It's gonna be different out in the wilderness here in a minute. But first, I'm gonna sneak off for another hour. Actually, it'll now be 1 p.m. when I get back from this dungeon search. And the same thing. I'm telling these kids, stay in the woods, shut up, they die, they die. All right, let's roll for dungeons. That's it for the roads. I'm not wasting any more time with this. And I'm not gonna pay that toll. So let's look at the map. So what we're gonna do is backtrack to tile 86 where the tavern is. And then we're gonna travel south to 96 where it's coastal. Coastal areas, as you can see here, have much higher likelihood of a dungeon entrance with +1. That's great. It was -5 on the trodden. So there's a good chance we'll find a dungeon there. So it's going to take another hour to go back and then another hour to travel through the coastal Helix. But because that's off-road, it's actually going to be 2 hours. So it's going to take us till 4 p.m. And the question is, do I want to leave the kids? Yes, I'm not going to bring them. So I'm going to hide them just like before and say I'll be back by dark, though I might not. I'm going to assume they have the ability to set up camp. So I'm going to look for a little side path or somewhere to pull the cart off the road. Let's see if we have any luck. No. So I'm going to have them just sort of leave the cart on the side of the road. It's still pretty safe. I need to roll danger for this too. And we are safe for now. Yeah, so I'm gonna have them stay and I'm gonna go trekking south for 2 hours and see what that coastline looks like. First thing I'm gonna do is roll the location once I arrive at it, this coastline. And so we have wreck swept, cracked hole shrine, and brine wastes. Cracked hole shrine, interesting. And do I see any people about? No, good. Let's roll the weather. We haven't rolled the weather yet today. Rime Vale. Fog carries ice crystals. You taste blood after breathing too long. Locals say spirits cross over in it. All right, Rime Vale weather. Misty day. Coming down to a cold coast. Full of wrecked, swept, broken ships and old halls. And let's spend an hour and hunt for this dungeon. Do we find one? We do not find a dungeon. I'm gonna travel. There's a little sliver of land there on the coast, and let's look at that coastline. It's going to take me 2 hours to get there. I don't care. These kids might die, whatever. We'll roll all the dangers when we get back. We'll see what happened to them. Could have been bad. So it's going to be 6 p.m. when we arrive, and let's roll the danger. Danger in coastal is -2, so it's not, we're okay. Shell littered, cairn of rope and bone. And what we love is that we're able to understand and look how many places we've traveled, but we don't have to go super deep into it. You just need that initial marker. We can always flesh them out as needed, but we just build as we go. Because right now we're on a mission. I'm not here to sightsee. I'm here to find a dungeon. So let's focus on that. 69, cragmire. So a shell-littered cairn of rope and bone in a cragmire. Sounds great. Sounds like a real nice spot. Okay, so it's 6 p.m. It's gonna get dark soon. I need to find a dungeon. You guys ready? Let's see if we can find a dungeon here. No. All right, I gotta go back and check on these kids. And so first I'm gonna roll me traveling back and the dangers I encounter, like any encounter rolls or danger rolls. So danger is minus, what was it? Let's check the danger for coastal. Danger is -2. And I don't think I rolled it yet for this one. So let's roll it for now. We're okay. Now traveling back 2 more hours, it's 8 p.m. Or no, we spent an hour searching for the dungeon. It's 9 p.m. And looks like we rolled an encounter. It's 9 p.m. And we're now back at tile 96. Wreck swept Cracked Hall Shrine, Brine Waste, no dungeon. And it's -2 danger, so that's a 7 instead of a 9. But it's still a 5 level challenge. So let's bring up and see what challenge we roll. All right, people. Let's see how bad it gets. 56. Precision test, aiming. That's not great. Level 5 aiming test. So I'm gonna say that I stopped to take a quick drink of water and light a torch because it's getting dark. And so I'm cracking my flint and steel, trying to ignite some torch oil and get my iron torch going. And I have my pack open, and swooping down, a crow grabs my rations, 5 dry rations in a little wrap, and flies off. I have to shoot this crow effectively with a +5 difficulty with my crossbow in order to not lose my rations. So let's see how it goes. I have no precision here. And I have, just my crossbow. Let's just roll it. We might lose some rations here, people. Yeah, that wasn't great. We really failed so hard, catastrophically. This is a no and. So not only did we miss and lose all the rations, when we actually looked into our backpack, this is rough, but this is how you gotta be. You gotta play it hard. I realized once I looked into my pack that it also got my smoke leaf. Now that's a tragedy. So I have no smoke leaf and I have no food. I'll have to eat these children. Okay, so we need to get back on track and back to these dirty little scumbag kids. So I'm gonna kick stuff for a minute and be pissed off. I also need to lower my vigor appropriately. I lost 9 vigor from that fiasco. Let's start moving north. It's gonna take another 2 hours to get back to the road, and hopefully we'll find these kids doing great. They're just sitting by the fire singing little church songs, right? They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine, right? What I'm gonna do before I walk into that scene, because we know where we're going. We're going back to Where are we going? We're going back to 86, right? Caverns nearby, the Drowned Rider at the Rotgrass Expanse. They have been alone, I think, since about, was it 2? Maybe, or was it 6? Nah, let's say it's 4. That's fine. It's 11 now. So that's 7 danger rolls for them that I'm gonna do. The danger here is -4. So within 1 hour of my leaving, something happened. That's a +4 challenge that I'm gonna roll. Let's see what it looks like. They had an encounter. So I'm gonna go to the Trodden encounters list. You know, and for those of you that are thinking, wow, that was really irresponsible leaving all the kids. You know what, shut up, you don't know my life. You don't know my life. All right, let's roll it. What happened to these kids? 83. They encountered a wounded knight limping home, armor scorched and cracked. Knowing them, that doesn't actually sound like a huge threat. Knowing them, they would be treating his wounds and caring for him. Let's see if that in fact, like happened. It did, very much so. They endeared themselves to this knight, treated his wounds, probably gave him way too much of our food. And so he's still gonna be there. And when I get there, but there's still more danger rolls. So let's see what happened for the next 4 hours. Safe, 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 safe. Okay. So when I get there, there's gonna be this knight. Let's name this character. 47. Breck. He's a Breck. For now, I'm not gonna get too wild. I'm just gonna say, when I returned from dungeon hunting, I found a wounded knight named Breck amongst my pilgrims. Because we don't know if Breck's gonna, like, why get too deep? Oh, let's just do his, let's do a little bit of building. Let's get his features and stuff. I want to know a little more about him based off of how he looks. So Breck's salient feature is going to be teeth chipped, strangely, in the front. Fled a lost battle. Cloaked in tattered flags. I don't want to get too deep into it beyond that, because that's just really what I'd see walking in. And so let's play it out. I walk back to the camp, and I assume that I'm seeing these kids tending to this guy and, you know, fawning over him. And I'm like, what's this? And we'll say this is Anwin. Oh, Mr. Gorehound, you were gone so long. We were so worried. And I can see they've got like the fire and they're roasting some food and the whole bit. Maybe they even have a little bunny on a spigot. You know, they're like feeding Breck's soup.
Who is this man?
Oh, sir, he's a soldier fleeing from a great battle.
What, he's a coward?
I'm no coward. How dare you? I am a valiant knight of the realm.
What does that mean?
I am a knight of Ruenhorn.
And all the kids think that's real cool, and you can hear him going like, ooh, just from him saying it. I already don't like him.
If you're so valiant, what are you doing wounded in my camp getting taken care of by some kids? Where's your troop?
There must have been an ambush of some kind. I think ambushed by marauders, perhaps. Let's ask the dice if they go for that. No, not ambushed by marauders. Why would a knight of the realm be injured and alone without his team? Is his company dead? Yes.
Where's your company?
Alas, they were slain.
And so I need to know why they were killed. So I think we should roll a trodden encounter and that'll be what happened to him. We're gonna use this encounter, a child prophet gathering a cult of road raiding believers.
Alas, we were attacked by...
Oh, let's get a name for this kid. Savrin. What a great name. Actually, I think it's a little assumptive to assume that it's a male. Let's ask the dice. Is it male? It is not. So I still like Savrin, but we'll make that the last name. First name is Nimra.
The name they speak is Nimra Savrin, but a child that has rallied a bloodthirsty cult of believers around her strange magics. Their minds clearly lost. These didn't look like weathered warriors, but normal people, like these good children here. I was afraid to ask for help.
Why didn't you go to the tavern for help?
I did not think it would be good to show a wounded soldier of the king on their own.
Tell me the truth. Is that tavern dangerous or unwelcoming? Is it full of robbers?
Alas, it is. It is not a safe place for anyone of noble heart. I was lucky to find your companions here, these nice, young, and holy, clearly very holy young people, so willing to, they treated my wounds and gave me good food and warmth by their fire. These are the types of children you don't see so much in the kingdom anymore.
Yeah, I bet. Well, look, Breck, you ready to get on your way then?
Oh, Gorehound, he's still quite hurt. Let him rest with us. It will only make us safer to have a man of good repute in our vicinity. He can help keep watch with you, so that you can get some rest too, Mr. Gorehound.
And all the little Dren and Calder.
Yes, sir. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Breck has great stories too.
Yeah, great.
Would you like me to regale you with another tale?
Not really.
Yes, please, Mr. Breck. Please, another tale.
I know a tale of this land you're on now. I will tell it to you.
And so we'll roll another local legend for this area. So we've established that we have this cult nearby that's interesting. A child-driven cult. I love that. Let's pull up our trodden legends. When we're adding legends, we want to put those right in the tile and connect it to where the tile it belongs to. And you'll get the hang of finding where to put your notes, because I only use 2, maybe 3, like one little note just to keep backpack stuff, one note that's my map, and one that's my game log, and that just is kind of like day 1, day 2, or sessions, just to remind me where I started and vaguely what happened. But if you use your memory and the tools to build the memorability of your campaign, you won't forget this stuff. You won't have to take a lot of notes. I don't. And I have a horrible memory. So let's roll the legend. So here we have the legend: burned infected wagons by order of the toll collectors by demand of ridge priests. And so I'm going to assume this is Breck using a High Dawn related legend that makes them look good to ingratiate himself and annoy me further.
Let me tell you the story of how the High Dawn Church helped save this land right here near this tavern when there was a horrible infection that was affecting everyone on the road, and no one was able to take a stand to push, because there would be a loss in revenue by shutting down the roads. But it was the High Dawn Church, the Ridge Priests, in fact, that demanded to the toll collectors that they shut down and burn, even with all the goods inside of them. This created a lot of anger and frustration in the area, and this is the reason that I was here in the first place. We were here to help settle this affair and support this wagon burning to protect people from this illness, this grave plague. But then we were attacked by this cult. They killed 15 men. I'm the only one, I think, that survived. And good that I did, so that I can bring word back. Yogmur will certainly send a phalanx or more here to snuff out this rebellion.
Oh, that sounds like such a good thing, Mr. Breck. It is so valiant and noble of you to protect and preserve the health and the safety of the people.
Oh, I know, it's what I live for, to be of service to the good people.
And I'm just like puking in my mouth at this bullshit. Doesn't it seem a little extreme to burn everything someone owns? How do you know if they're sick?
Oh, you can tell. It's just like spotting a witch. You can tell that they have this plague because they will make certain strange behaviors. For instance, they float if you dunk them in water.
You're dunking people in water as they travel the roads?
Well, yes. That's one of the many great ways. And also, people will admit that they're sick under torture. So it's always good to use that method to extract the truth from someone that may deny it to you.
Yeah, sounds like real noble work.
Oh, indeed, quite so. It is so tragic that these cults would have the audacity to attack such good people doing such good things.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I'm gonna go take a walk.
I'm going to assume that this is some time has passed as this story goes on. And so I'm going to roll one more danger before I go to bed. And so with a -4, we're safe. And I'm going to go ahead and get some sleep. Oh, first I'm going to grab some food that they were feeding Breck before I go to sleep and recover my vigor. We're going to all be asleep until 6 a.m., let's say. 6 hours, and so I'm gonna roll 6 danger rolls, and we'll see if we have any danger. No, 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 no. It's 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the whole night came out, and it's now 6 a.m. day 3. So it's 6 a.m. on day 3. I'm sure that the kids are up and doting on Breck and making sure that his every need is met, and that he's probably enjoying a nice little bit of cocoa or some shit like that.
And I'll just be over there with my whetstone sharpening my blade on my rusty knife.
Actually, no, I'll be sharpening my greatsword,
staring at the whole situation. So what's your plan, Breck?
Well, I must head back towards the castle Ruenhorn to the north. But perhaps if you're heading that direction, I could offer you protection.
And let me look at the map and see what this situation looks like, because we have to figure out where we're going to find. We're one down and to the right from the castle here. If I take the group to the next tile to the left that we were at, and then I could walk out to that coast and see if there's a dungeon there. As you can see, there is Evernether. And I'm looking at the map and realizing there wasn't even Evernether under the 2 coastlines that I just checked. So even if I'd found dungeons, there wouldn't have been any chance for Evernether there. So I'm glad that it didn't happen, so I didn't waste a bunch of time. But as you can see, on the one down one and to the left from the castle there, definitely Evernether. And so I'm going to follow that Evernether line of dotted black. First thing this morning, I guess we can let Breck come with us for a minute. And honestly, I can probably use him to protect the kids while I'm gone. So I'm going to keep him around just for a moment. So let me update his character sheet. I'm sure he did a bit of healing. We'll give him back up to 22 on his grit for resting, and we'll restore all of his vigor. But yeah, he's still recovering.
Well, now that you mention it, Breck, I am heading in that direction. Why don't you come along for a spell, and you can repay our kindness with a little bit of protection, because I need someone to keep an eye on these kids over in the next area.
Well, I think I could be up to it. I'm feeling a little bit better.
So the journey begins. This is only going to take an hour. At 7 a.m., they're all... And I tell them,
don't even bother with breakfast. We're just going to travel an hour. You can eat then.
And I leave them there at 7 a.m. And I'm going to take 2 hours to hike out to this coastline. That's going to put me at 9 a.m. Oh, let's roll the danger for where we just went. We're okay, it's safe. And I'll go, 9 a.m. to get out to Tile 84. So before I head out there, we'll just roll the weather real quick. I'm in a sludge wake. Wet snow, half melted into gritty slush. It clings to your boots, soaks through packs, and hides jagged stone beneath each step. Every mile feels like 2. Campfires hiss and drown in their own ash. And so I'm going to nerf an extra hour onto the 2-hour hike that I just took. I'm going to make it take 3 because of this shit weather. Reef split, collapsed dock. All right, so we have a reef split collapsed dock in a crestline shale. And it is a muddy, sludgy, cold day out here. Let's roll it. So there's no encounter just yet. I need to hunt for that dungeon entrance. So I'm going to spend an hour on that. Let's roll it. Still no dungeons. This is how it goes sometimes, people. Look at all that. No dungeons anywhere. So let's pull up our map. We're right here, just down 1 and to the left of the castle. So we're going to travel straight up. That's going to take us another 2 hours up to that other coastline, which is a trodden coastline. I hate that, but we'll try it. The trodden will nerf the likelihood of the dungeon, because you kind of just take whatever's worst when it comes to these rolls. And then if that doesn't work, we'll go up 1 more, and there's Badlands. And Badlands have a high likelihood of dungeons, and that's just what it's going to be if it requires us to go there. So I'm not crossing that bit of ocean right there, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to push it to noon. Now we'll be at the trodden area. And so this will be 74. Look at all these places we've gone today. Though it's neat, right? Isn't it cool how you can just keep creating like the beginnings of what will later be much more probably complex places. So we'll put this piece of world map up here, 74. Let's roll the danger, -4 or so, we're okay. Let's roll the area, frost cracked, orphanage. This is a good alternative place to bring these children. In a witchgrass vale, cool place. Let's do a quick cursory look for a dungeon. Maybe we'll get lucky. No dungeon. I'm gonna go ahead and just travel north. That's what we have to do. Another 2 hours. But now I'm 3 hours, because I'm traveling into the Badlands. So it's gonna be 3 p.m. just to get to this place. All right, so we're in the Badlands now, people. Seldom crossed. Wizard's Tower. Ooh, that sounds awesome. Okay, and what is the territory like? Vale Marsh. No, Spine Sedge. A seldom crossed Wizard's Tower and a Spine Sedge. Cool. All right, let's roll our danger and see how dumb it was to come here. So it's +3 danger. Let me double check. So we just squeezed by on the +2 danger of the Badlands. Let's see if we can do a look around and find a dungeon. So it's going to be 4 p.m. and you have to roll danger every hour too. So we'll roll another danger roll after we roll the dungeon. All right, dungeon, you gonna give us something finally? Yes. People, we have a dungeon entrance. You ready to party? And do we have danger? We are safe. Okay, we have a dungeon entrance over a part of the map where the Evernether exists. Now we need to go down in this dungeon and we need to see if we can find an entrance to the Evernether. Let's start rolling this dungeon. So a loop back is a single path. So the dungeon has an arched ceiling. Arched ceiling shaft leads down to a path that is a traverse ramp. And we will go ahead and travel that traverse ramp, and let's see where it goes. That leads to another single path room, and this one is arched ceiling mechanical chamber, and that leads to overlook, or it has an overlook. We didn't roll the danger yet. Let's see, it's +3. Oof, this is bad. So it's +3 danger, which makes this 13 to 4. That's a +9 challenge. This is rough. So we walk into this arched ceiling mechanical chamber, and let's check how bad of a mistake we've made. So we have a level 9 strength test for intimidating, which means physically trying to intimidate an extremely intimidating foe. This is not good. I'm gonna roll this creature that we're facing, this denizen of this dungeon. And let's see, and I don't have fragments, but let's see what it is. I doubt I'm gonna make any effort to try and fight it, but because I don't want to die. And in this game, it's not like rated off of your current level. If you do stupid is as stupid does in this game. If you fight something that's way too big for you and you die, that's just how it goes. There's no... All right, let's roll a monster. Okay, so we have a Wretch Hung Skin Herald. A Wretch Hung Skin Herald. I mean, what are we doing here, people? Are we gonna try and intimidate this thing? It would require... I have 1 strength. I do have some stealth. I don't want to just jump out of here. There's no way I'm gonna intimidate this giant Wretch Hung Skin Herald. Gross. We need to look at the flanks of this room. Maybe there's a chance we can sneak. We have a bit of stealth. I could leave my backpack and try and sneak around this thing to the overlook. Let's roll these dungeon flanks. Risks path through blades rusted into stone. That is not a stealth opportunity. Let's roll for the other side, for the right. Arcane static laced floor. Yeah, I don't think we can do it. Let me look at my inventory and see if I'm missing something. Wretch Hung Skin Herald is blocking the door, people. Let's look at the map. I feel like this would be really dumb if we kept on this track. I think I just need to go even further into the next Badlands. So I'm gonna walk back out to the dungeon entrance, the arch ceiling shaft, back from the traverse ramp. I'm gonna peer at the wizard's tower and make a mental note of that. Interesting thing. And I'm gonna make my way to the next tile. So another 3 hours into the Badlands. It'll put me at 7 p.m., but I don't see any choice. Just a level 1 guy trying to survive, you know? Just a level 1. We'll be back for that Skin Herald, people. You don't worry about that. That puts us at 54. And as you can see, these are all just labeled 1 to 100, and then I make all the numbers themselves like the title headings, and that way they're all just like a content, so you can just jump everywhere. Really easy. Here, just 1 up and to the left is where we just were. That's where the wizard's tower is. And we're gonna, as you can see, we're gonna come to a river as well in this area. There's a river, Evernether, and Badlands. Isn't it fun just exploring a map and just seeing what's out there without knowing ahead of time? We're rolling. What do we see? Heat Hollowed. Outlaw Authority. Not safe. Here, Sulfur Hollow. So there's a nice smell in the air. A Heat Hollowed Outlaw Authority in a Sulfur Hollow. Let's roll the danger. Good. We are okay for right now. Maybe no one's around. And I'm going to explore and look for a dungeon. Let's see. Do we find a dungeon? Yes. Of course we do. Of course we do. Okay, let's add our dungeon. And let's roll the first room. Dome roofed, armory, and does it have a path? Does. 1 path, and it is 30. Narrow dripping stair. Okay, let's roll the danger. Okay, this looks like a challenge. So with a +3 danger level, that is a 7 to 1. That's a +6 challenge. This is what happens, people. Start thinking you're tough and find out. So let's go to our challenge table. Precision catching. A level 6 catch. So I think it's going to be a trap that shoots a arrow at me, unfortunately. And I have to roll to catch it. I have no average precision. So I don't particularly have any kind of good precision. So this is a +6 arrow. I'm just gonna say it's a plus damage, like a 6 damage arrow as well. As Gorehound is slinking into this first room of this dungeon, he steps on something and hears a tick. And he hears a whoosh, and he looks up just fast enough to try and snatch an arrow coming right towards his shoulder. Let's roll it. So this is awesome. I hear the whoosh, it's coming towards me, and I'm just like, Kya! Catch that shit. Just like with like my eyeball, you know, just like looking at it. And I go, give it a sniff, like, because I can detect things or something when I smell stuff.
It smells like poison, and I throw it to the ground. It takes more than that to stop old Gorehound. You just remember that dungeon.
Awesome. That was satisfying. Okay. Let's go through this next dripping stair and see what's next on the menu. Is it us? Are we on the menu? Okay, we have flooded to chasm bridge. A flooded chasm bridge. What does that even mean? I mean, obviously the bridge, I guess, is just over a flooded area. Let's see what path it leads to. Gear-hinged stone hatch. Let's roll our danger. Okay, we're safe from danger in this room. Let's loot it. Hey, shabby loot. So let's roll a little bit of shabby loot. Actually, I don't even care. My backpack's so full. I kind of want to go to the last room, though, real quick, and just check the loot there. Yeah, it's shabby there, too. Or is it? Is it +3 in dungeons for loot? No. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and we'll go to the next room. We cross the chasm bridge and come to the gear-hinged stone hatch, this flooded chamber. And we slowly release the hatch and open the door there. And we look inside. And with our torch, we just enter into the darkness. And what do we find in the next area? We find another single passage room. And it is plant illuminated library. Ooh. And what's the passage in here? A sewer washed culvert. And let's roll the danger. Oh shit. So +3 danger, that is a 10 level challenge, people. We are not in good shape in this room. Let's see what this challenge is. Maybe it's something we can find a way around. Logic test, psychologist. So I think what I'm going to say for this logic test is that there is a painting on a wall in the library. And that painting is of a very dramatic, emotional scene that shows like a god devouring. I'm imagining that, I think it's like Apollo or Atlas, whatever, devouring his kid or something. It's a famous painting. Something like to that effect, sort of dark. And if I am able to use my psychologist ability to decipher the meaning that the artist, like the artist mental state that did this, it would tell me something about their personality that would allow me to find a secret hatch in this room. And if you pull the hatch, opens to a +5 loot room. There's no way that I can successfully decipher this. I'll roll it. So I'm looking at this painting, this disgusting, bestial, cannibalistic representation of art, and looking around the room and how some of the aesthetics of the room sort of tie into the painting, but yeah, no. And I'm also going to, because I like to have a challenge, still have a little bit of a bite, I'm going to give myself a little bit of sanity damage from trying to interpret this painting. I'll do the -3. It just messes with your mind to look at something so horrific in a place like this. That'll be good enough. Let's move on and see what's in the culvert. So let's travel to the next room through this culvert. And this is another single path room, a rubble choked shrine. At the far side of this shrine is a tight crawl space. And let's roll the danger. Just skated by on the danger. Let's loot. No loot. Okay. Do I want to investigate this shrine right now? Nah. I want to find some Evernether, people. We just need a -6 to a -9 when we roll the dungeon to get Evernether. So let's roll the next room. -4. Dead end. So what this means is this last room, that's it for this dungeon. There's no Evernether to be found here. Let's roll it up. This last room is a massive flooded shrine. Healer's Hollow, and then dead end. And we'll roll the danger. We're okay. We found a massive Healer's Hollow. Let's search for loot while we're here. No. So a big bust on this dungeon. 5 rooms and it's over. So we're gonna head back out and we need to find some dungeon. I'm probably gonna need to go back to my group by now and check in with them. So we're going to go back out of this healer's hollow through the tight crawl space to the rubble-choked shrine. And then we'll go back down through that hatch into the room with the crazy painting, the plant-illuminated library, or no, through that sewer-washed culvert. And then through the gear-hinged stone hatch, we'll cross the chasm bridge in the flooded room. And then that'll take us to the narrow, dripping stair up to the dungeon dome-roofed armory. So back on the surface, we have our Badlands, our outlaw authority somewhere in the distance in a sulfur hollow. All right, let's look at our map. So we are now 3 up. And what time is it? 7 p.m. And we got to do an hour for the dungeon time. I bet Breck would be staying. He wouldn't leave, but he would stay. So maybe I should keep on hunting through the night. Yeah. I don't need sleep. I'm a monster. So let's travel 3 hours north to 44. Tile 44, which has like a crossroads of the Never Ever, which is interesting. And let's see what we find in the dark. Danger is 1 higher in the dark too. So there's that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's be a little bit irresponsible, because otherwise I've had such poor luck finding dungeons that'll lead us to Evernether. I don't see a better strategy right now, and there's 2 of those, so I can hit up to 2. Let's just do it. Let's make it. It's going to be 11 p.m. We hiked north. We're now at 44. At least we're making a whole ton of map today. We're getting a great idea of what's around in this world. I love that. Let's roll this area. Cracked open, ashen parapets. And what does the land look like? Vale Marsh. Ashen parapets in the Vale Marsh, marching through with my torch in hand, sputtering in the dark. What a nightmare. Let's roll the danger. Yay! All right, we're safe for right now in the Vale Marsh. Let's go on a dungeon hunt. 11 p.m. Let's see what we find at midnight here in the Vale Marshes. So, no dungeon. That's rough. But that's how it goes, people. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to face reality. The reality of a grimdark world that is happy to see you suffer. No dungeon over the Evernether crossroad. But this is when we start to get a little reckless, right? We're gonna just go on through the night. So it's gonna be 3 a.m. It's now day 4, technically, when we arrive at ash frozen thirsting pit in a choked ravine. An ash frozen thirsting pit in a choked ravine. That sounds horrible. Let's do a hunt for dungeon. Oh, let's roll the danger. Okay, so we have a challenge, and it's a +4 strength test, bending or breaking. I think there's a point in the ravine where I'm basically blocked if I can't break through choked roots to get, because I'm down in the ravine and it's steep walled and it's just filled with, but there's an area where there's just a few broken or where there's like I can see through it, but there's roots and stuff in the way. So I'm gonna go, and let's say it's too dense for me to like hack, so I have to kind of just rip it apart. This is something I could take a couple cracks at. It's a level 4, and I have 1 strength, but I'll deplete my vigor. So let's take a couple cracks at it. With my first attempt, I'm negative, it's +4, 13 to 5, which is 8 vigor lost. All right, let's try it again. 9, 8, 4 to 10, another 3 vigor lost, down to 39. I'm getting frustrated with this goddamn hellish landscape in this choke ravine. Ugh. 6 to 14, 8 vigor lost. This is just gonna drain me. So 6 to 4 is 7 to 8, so -1 vigor. Ugh. So close. And this is it. We need the dungeon to be here. So we're just gonna God, we're gonna try a couple more times, like fools. And that's a 7 to 7. So that means we succeeded, but let's say a branch slapped us in the face and we took 4 damage. Breaking through, we get up, just wipe the blood off of our fat lip, pissed, cuss for a little while, and move along. So now we can roll for the dungeon. Give us a break, game. What are we gonna do? You guys ready? Hey, we have a dungeon. Okay, so let's see what we found. And that's 40, cracked floor, a ruined ballroom. Interesting. And we have a single exit, and it is spiral stone staircase. What's down this staircase? Oh, let's roll the danger real quick. Okay, so we have a challenge. Before we can be going down any staircases, we need to address the situation. So this is a +1 challenge is all. Nothing too crazy. Or excuse me, +3 challenge. So this is a +3. Let's go to our challenge sheet. Agility, swimming. Eek. The spiral stone staircase descends and is underwater. And this is a +3 agility to make this swim. We'll add that. +3 agility, swim to next room. All right, let's go for a swim and see how we do. We're just an average, normal, non-agility person, except for our stealth. So let's try and swim. This goes horribly wrong. So we start swimming down there and immediately get hung up in some roots and whatnot, and actually lose our pack down there because we have to take it off in order to swim back to the surface. We're like breathing, like crazy, trying to get back up. And so we just take off our pack to get to the surface. That sucks. And that is also going to sap 9 vigor, which also really sucks because now we don't have the means to replenish our vigor because it's in the pack. Not that we did anyway, because we already had those dang birds. This is bad. Will I get it if I succeed? I think so. I think that now if I swim again and I can succeed on the roll, I can get my pack during the swim. Just kind of lost it for now and lost a lot of, it's just a situation. But it doesn't make the swim harder. So it's a +4 agility swim. I'm gonna try again. Failed. Lost 2 more vigor down to 19. If I get to 15, I'm gonna be in pain. Unless I drink water. And we all know if I drink this water, what's gonna happen. We've been here before, haven't we? Oh, but this time I'll use my flame maybe to clean it. Oh well. We're gonna have to try again. I'm not losing my whole pack down in here. This is what happens when you play in a wild world in the Badlands, people. You gotta be careful. Okay. Thank goodness. So we're getting so depleted here, but we managed to now, despite the difficulty, swim through into the next chamber, recovering our backpack. And remember, this backpack is -1 agility anytime we're carrying it. So there's also that. So, and we're gonna have to use that same agility to get back out. Okay, so let's see where we ended up. What a nightmare. Oh, it's a +3 agility. Well, it is +4 because of my pack. All right. What's the next room? A summoning circle. Gantry. And what is the path situation? 1 path. And what is it? Arched overpass. Interesting. Let's roll the danger. Man, this is what I'm talking about. 13 to 4. It's a level 9. Let's roll the challenge and see how bad it's going to be. Rapport test, convince. So there's someone in here that we need to convince. Get something. So I think it's going to be a voice, like right when we come out of the water and come around like the bend into the gantry, an arrow whizzes by and we hear a voice. How dare you? Turn back! How dare you enter here? And I need to convince them to calm down. I think I do have a fragment because of that failed. I do. I didn't give it to myself. I have one fragment from that horrible swim. Take advantage of that right now, I think. Might as well give it a shot. But yeah, it's not likely that we're going to survive this, or that we're not just going to have to turn back and swim out of here. And probably, yeah, this is rough. All right, I'm going to attempt to calm this fellow and be like, I mean you no harm. Oh, so I just gained a seal, people. And so I would call this a seal in convince, because that's what I'm trying to do, which is a great seal. And that'll attach to my rapport. And then I get to try and roll again. So now I'm a +1, but it's a level 9. There's just no way. And I'm gonna use that fragment because it didn't count if I get a dyad. So that's +2, trying to get a 9. Oh, I almost got it too. That's a no, but 11 to 5. Maybe he'll charge me. He says, I'll let you pass for a gold. Do I want to take him up on that? I'm going to take him up on it. So I lose my fragment. And I'm going to deplete my funds to 102, 10 silvers a gold. And I'm going to say, yes, I will give you a gold. I am just looking for passage and nothing more. And I say, okay, I'm coming up. Don't shoot. And so I kind of have my hands up and I make my way up towards, what are we in? What's the gantry situation? Towards the arched overpass where he's sitting there, and he says, throw me the gold. And I throw it up there. And he says, there you go, goodbye. And then he's gone. So I don't even know where he went. He didn't come my way. So I'm going to climb up there and see what the situation is. 55, winding, moss-covered hall. And I'm just sort of keeping my weapons ready, holding the torch and my great sword, ready to drop the torch and fight as needed, and drop my bag probably if I want to be smart. So let's see how many exits. One exit, and it is a moss slick arch tunnel. And let's roll the danger again. We have to. We're okay. Okay, let's loot. A little bit of loot. What do we got? I mean, it's just shabby loot. I really don't have the room for it, to be honest. So I'm just gonna ignore whatever the loot is, and I'm gonna move on. So we'll head through the moss-slicked arch tunnel into the next space. And the next space is mural-lined chasm bridge. And let's check the exits. One exit, hand-dug crawl space. On the other side of the bridge. Let's roll the danger. Okay. Let's roll the loot. No loot. Alright. We go across this bridge, looking at the murals. And I think these would just be really rough, sort of cave paintings, sort of murals, kind of faded into the walls of the large chamber. So we cross this abyss. And on the other side, strangely, there are not major doors or entries, which is a curious phenomenon, but I do find this hand-dug crawl space and I enter it. Next room is a horseshoe-shaped shaft. And what about the exits? Ooh, finally some exits here. So 7 to 1 is +6. That's 2 passages that we can roll now. So let's roll the first passage. So there's an underwater tunnel. Tunnel behind wall. And let's roll the danger. And of course it's dangerous. Of course it is. So now it's a +9 level danger in this shaft that we have to roll. Let's see what the challenge is. Agility test, chase. A +9 chase, people. This is not good. Let's see what's gonna chase us, people. Let's roll a denizen. All right, let's roll this creature. We have a 22, filth, taloned, scourge lashed, martyr. So this is a rough situation. He's level 9, but if I roll him as a level, like the chase is level 9, that means his agility is level 9. But I need to roll him as a level 9 creature. Or no, otherwise I think is he what level is he though? Let's roll that. He's level 7. Okay. Level 7 with level 9 agility. Okay. I'm gonna roll this creature and see if we can get lucky and he has like a major weakness. Anyway you cut it, this thing's gonna have crazy agility. So many reasons not to fight this guy. I don't have any way to recover. So the only way I'm getting past this guy is to do some kind of crazy agility stunts that I just do not have the means to do. I gotta get out of here. That's it. I'm gonna die if I don't. We all know this, and I don't want to die just yet. So I'm going to turn right back around, or right through that crawl space, and back to mural-lined chasm bridge through the moss-slicked arch tunnel, and back through where I paid a gold to pass the gantry, or to pass the guy, the archer. Okay, so now I've got to swim again through this underwater area, and it's a +3 agility swim, but it's +4 because I have this big giant backpack on. All right, let's swim. I clinched. So that means I made it, but I also took 4 damage. I cut myself trying to get through there. But at least I made it, and that's good enough for me right now. I go back out. I pull myself out of the entrance from the ruined ballroom and out into the ash-frozen, thirsting pit, choked ravine, and begin thinking about all the mistakes I've made in my life. Okay. We need to figure this out, people. We are way up here, actually just south and to the right of Ruenhorn's castle. Castle Ruenhorn. We need to find a new place to look for entrances tomorrow, if we're alive. I think we'll go back through Clubfoot Cross and bring the cart all the way over just 2 tiles south of the Castle Ruenhorn, and then I can go down over here if needed and follow that line all the way down through those spaces to try and find something. So we need to see if we can get back alive. That's what we're gonna do. It's been an hour that we've been in this dungeon. It's 4 a.m. Okay, so let's roll the danger. We're okay. And we need to travel. Actually, I'm gonna travel east because that'll speed up my trip substantially because it'll put me on the road. So it's only an hour for each spot. We'll also need to build these tiles as we go. So that'll be we'll travel over to 35, which is trodden. It will take 3 hours to get there though. And so that's gonna put us at 7 a.m. Let's roll this area and let's check the weather. The most important thing. What is the weather like this morning? +2. Grave humid, unseasonably warm and wet. Gear rust, wounds itch, sleep breaks often. Your pulse never quite settles. That sounds about right. And let's roll this trodden area. An oil-streaked old bridge in a field of wagon ruts. Let's roll danger. We're okay. And let's just get on with it because we got places to go. And so this will take us to 45. Paved church. Kids would love that. Spent glades. So just kind of overused glades. It's trampled by constant travelers. Okay, we're making good time. Let's, that was another hour. So it's now 8 a.m. And let's go down to 55. All right, the first part of this area is weathered. Stone marker in a bramble track. All right, let's roll the danger. Oh, we got a little something here. So with -4 danger, that brings this to 7 to 9. So it's 2, a challenge of 2. Let's roll the challenge. All right, we have an encounter, a logic encounter. So I'm going to roll on the Trodden Encounters table. It's only 2. All right, let's see what's on here. 19. A crone dragging a heavy sack, mumbling to herself. And I'm just going to roll the logic and see if I get lucky. And I don't. So I lose some more vigor. It's a 2 challenge, so that's... And I have no logic. So that's another 3 vigor gone. Bring me down to 16. What a joke. I'm going to keep on traveling. I'm going to head down to 65, just above Clubfoot Cross. Let's see. Man, we've made so many map pieces today. So much travel. All right, let's roll this area. 52. Slumped. Church. So many churches. Broken Stepstone. I don't like all these churches. Let's roll the danger. The challenge. Wait, no. -4. So that's 6 to 8. Still a 2 challenge. Let's roll the challenge. Sneaking. So there's an opportunity here at the church, the level 2 challenge. I'm going to say as we're walking by this church, the congregation is exiting. There is a priest holding a barrel or like a bucket that has tithes, and people are dropping tithes as they leave the church. And a child starts crying nearby and wailing. Looks like they were hurt playing with other kids, and the priest sets down the bucket for a moment on the stoop of the church to go render aid along with other concerned parents. And so if I want to try and sneak up there, I can steal those tithes for +2 stealth. I really shouldn't do this. In fact, I'm not going to do this. It'd be nice if I had the agility, but I just don't. So I'm just going to move along and leave it alone. Be on my way. And so it looks like we're going to get to Clubfoot Cross around noon. We know what that looks like. So we'll just roll to see if there's danger. No. And we'll just move right through. And the last stop is the next stop. And so back at 85 at the weathered statue with the singing bandit and the fog marsh, I go looking for my troop. And do I find them? No, they're not here. I had a feeling this may have happened. My instinct is that they're back at the church, taken by Breck. So I'm going to head back up to Clubfoot and go investigate at the church. That'll put me at 2 p.m. When I arrive at this church, I'm also going to... Well, first let's go see what the deal is. I go to the church and enter. I see the card out front, of course. And I walk in and see the priest, the young one and the old one, being regaled by Breck's charm, laughing. And he sees me first. There's our friend who has decided to bestow upon us his presence. The older priest says, "Where have you gone? We were so lucky that this fine knight of the realm looked after our congregants. You were gone for so long." And I'm going to lie and use my rapport and convince. So that's +2. I'm going to say,
"Yes, I ran into unfortunate trouble."
I'm going to say that there were bandits blocking that were camped in the entrance.
But I knew another location. And so I began hiking off. And so I hiked to make sure that it was safe. And I was coming back to fetch the children.
Let's roll it. Good. So the older priest says, "Well, so you did find a safe entrance then, an alternative route?" And I'm going to say,
"Yeah, it's just a little further up the road. Unfortunately, it'll take a little more time."
And Breck chimes in, of course. "Is it on the road towards the castle by chance?"
Perhaps I could be of service. I am now quite healed thanks to the good-natured priests of this fine city. They have healed me, and I am in good spirits and wish to assist and repay the kindness by assisting you. I wouldn't mind knowing the entrance to the Evernether myself.
All right, I'm going to look at the map real quick and see where this leads me before I continue this conversation. What I want to do is travel west 2 spaces, and then I can start looking all over there. So I will take him up on his, it is on the way to Ruenhorn and whatnot, and he can stay or go. It's helpful actually to have him watch these kids and keep them safe. So since I decided to take this job before even knowing where any Evernether was, because I'm a scoundrel. So I'm going to say,
Yes, that would be of good service, and I'm happy to show you an entrance. If you wish to. If you're man enough to enter, you may come along. But at the very least, it will get you on your way back to your charge at the castle, and you can provide some cover while I check to make sure that it is still safe.
Excellent. Well, this is fine news. Should we be on our way then?
and what time is it? It's 2 p.m. I'm going to say,
yeah, we might as well get on with it.
And I'm going to go to the provisioner real quick and pick up a few things, and
we'll leave in an hour. Be ready.
And so that'll put us at 3 p.m. And in that time, I'm going to go over to the provisioner. So we'll go to the apothecary. Roll danger. We're okay. From the apothecary, we're going to go to the crier. Roll there. We're okay. And then from there, we can go to the provisioner. And we're still safe. So let's go inside the provisioner and just get the things that we lost real quick and buy some stuff. I'm going to get 5 rations and smoke leaf, because that's what was taken. I'm going to go to the tavern real quick, and I'm going to chug 3 drinks to, so I'm going to go down to 77. I'm going to go over to the Broken Crown real quick and drink away my sanity woes. So from the provisioner, I go down to the wine crypt, still safe. Over to the Broken Crown, still safe. I'm going to go into the Broken Crown, and it's a little bit rowdy, but it's not too dangerous. And I'm just going to sit at the bar and have 3 quick brews to get my mind right. And that's going to restore that 3 sanity that's missing. I'm going to get a meal too while I'm here. That's going to cost me another couple silver, decent meal. And that's going to restore my vigor. Now I'm going to go grab, I'm a little bit, am I a little tipsy? Yeah, I'm a little tipsy. And that's fine. I'm going to go back to the church. So let's do that walk again and roll all these dangers to make sure we don't have any trouble on the way. So we have the wine crypt. Fine. Provisioner. Fine. Crier. Fine. 211 from the apothecary. Fine. And back to the church. Good. So we're safe back at the church, just kind of stumbling around town. We're over this bullshit job that's ended up being a huge hassle. At least we got to look around the area, but you know, it gives us a few ideas. I'm curious about that wizard tower. So we kind of burp as we walk up and probably exhale a little bit in Breck's face. Well, you've been having a couple drinks without me, huh?
Yeah, well, you seem busy.
Yeah, well, you know, someone's got to keep this party together.
Yeah, whatever. Let's get going. Head east, or head west.
And I just climb into the cart and lay down and take a nap.
Wake me up when we get an hour west.
And so it's now going to be 4 p.m. I should have just left him here, but whatever. I'll bring up the map. So we're now right here. And so there is... Oh, but I already searched this area. No, so we need to go 2 hours west. 2 hours. So it'll be another hour, 5 p.m. before we get to our destination. All right, let's roll it up. Cursed Wandering Camp in a Choked Fen. So as we come over, let's roll the danger real quick. -4. So that is just barely okay. I'm going to ask Breck,
what do you know of this wandering camp up ahead? Do you know those people?
And he's gonna tell me a local legend.
And so they?
I heard they removed all trail shelter on the word of a lone survivor at pressure from barrel lords.
Kind of a little bit of a vague legend.
You think that they will give us any trouble, Breck?
I'd say there's a quite good chance, especially if they see the likes of me.
Are the barrel lords trying to undermine the king?
Oh yes, those barrel lords have shown total willingness to undermine the kingdom.
Well, why don't you take off your armor then?
Are you mad? I would never dishonor my position or standing in my own kingdom.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that. All right, then I need you guys to keep low over here. Can you keep them safe, and out of sight for a little while, while I find a safe path?
I most certainly can. Yeah, he'll do it. But do not keep us waiting too long this time.
Fine.
And I'm gonna venture. Let me see what the map looks like. I'm gonna sneak past these barrow people and just go straight into 72. And 72 is not Badlands, it's wilderness. Which is nice, but it's not gonna be quite as likely to have a dungeon as the Badlands. So I arrive there and it takes 2 hours, so it'll be 7 p.m. Danger level's -3, so it's not too bad. Yeah, great chances for +3 dungeons, so we'll be good. So let's roll the danger. Good, we're safe. And let's roll what it looks like. This chunk of wilderness. A cursed thicket in an open glade. As the dusk comes in this huge open glade, I find a very dark, bramble-filled thicket that's filled with dead and dark sort of plants. And I'm gonna go investigate and look for a dungeon. Let's roll for dungeon. No dungeon. People, we are just no dungeon finders this sesh. And I'm gonna immediately travel north into the Badlands again for 3 hours till 10 p.m. by torchlight, adding 1 to the danger. Because eventually you just, 62, you just start acting crazy. When you're as gold hungry and greedy as I am. All right. So up to 62. Let's roll some Badlands. All right, so we're rolling the feature, barely navigable, Black Market Apothecary, and Glass Hollows. And let's roll the danger, barely skated by, and let's roll the dungeon. So it's 10 p.m. That'll bring us to 11 p.m. after our dungeon hunt. It's +3. Let's see. No dungeon. So it means it's going to be, by the time I travel to the Badlands, up at 54 or 52. Up to 52. It's going to be another 3 hours. All right. Into the night. It'll be 2 a.m. when we arrive. Let's see what we get. Seared Swamp Settlement in Black Thatch. All right, let's roll the danger. Bad. A level 10 challenge. Let's see what we got. Agility test, sneaking, level 10. So this is clearly like some kind of wildly hostile settlement, and there'll be no passing or getting through it unless you can sneak at a level that I cannot sneak. So I'm gonna bring up my map. Yeah, I guess we can go around over to 53 and 43 again. So I guess there's at least a spot that I can check at 33. So I'll go to 30. All right, so to get to 43 Trodden, I'm going to travel the angle. So I'm gonna go northeast. So it's 3 hours taking me to 5 a.m., which is going to give me a trot-in opportunity. And we don't have this yet. So let's roll a trot-in. All right, we have a 92 shadowed enchanter. Roadside enchanter. And a trackless verge. Okay, let's roll the danger. 4, so that's okay. We're safe. Let's roll dungeon. No. No dungeon. All right, and so we're gonna need to travel directly west from here into the wilderness of 42. Moss covered. Salt flat. A moss covered salt flat, how about that? And a long abandoned camp. Interesting. Let's roll the danger. We're okay. Let's roll the dungeon. +3. Finally. Freaking dungeon. So we have 42.1 dungeon. Let's roll it. And so we have dome roofed, shaft, and the exits. 1. And it is catwalk. All right, people, let's roll the danger. A level 2 challenge. And let's roll the table. Strength, resisting a strong force. So I think as we are moving through this dome roof shaft catwalk, we are suddenly we are hit by a falling pillar that sort of falls over, potentially getting ready to give us a smush or to fall on us. And so we have to kind of catch it and stop it. So let's roll that strength check and see if we've got what it takes with our 1 strength. And we do not. So that's a -5. And I'm going to take that as damage because that's how I played it. The stone fell on and hit me, and I wasn't able to stop it. And so I'm going to take that hit. And then I'm going to look at what is at the end of this catwalk. A fungus-filled burial pit. A fungus-filled burial pit. Interesting. And what's the exit situation? So there's 1 exit. Let's roll it. A buttressed walkway. And let's roll the danger. Ooh, so we have 7 challenge, level 7 challenge coming up. Logic test, identifying. I think since I'm in a fungus-filled burial pit, the obvious identifying challenge would be to identify and see that there is a very dangerous mushroom in here that's going to have a nightmarish effect. I'm going to go ahead and roll and inevitably fail to identify this mushroom. I'm guessing, yeah, of course. I'm guessing that the effect of this mushroom would be like knowing to hold your breath or something while passing within a certain range of it. So of course I did. That means I'm going to have, I'm going to use the nightmare table to give myself a traumatic hallucination. That sounds fun. So here we are at the nightmares table. So I'm going to roll the first list. So it's already 5 a.m. when I have this horrid nightmare. This nightmare consists, so when I'm walking through this burial pit and I begin to hallucinate that it's filling with water, and then I hallucinate passing out, and I do pass out. And when I wake, I am floating on black waters, and there's hands that come up around me. and are trying to pull me under. And I look to see what it is that's pulling me down. I see all of those annoying kids in the cart with their faces and eyes all black, trying to pull me down into the blackness, and I'm fighting to escape, and I'm losing my mind, and I lose 4 sanity. From this experience, I also lose, we'll say 5 hours, and put me at 10 a.m. in this place. And that also recovered my grit, coincidentally, I think not. And so I wake up startled, and I'm in the same place though in this dungeon, and I'm actually just laying in all of these smushed funguses and all this spore all over me, and I'm slapping a couple centipedes off of me that may have been what was causing me to trip out so hard. And I jump to my feet, and I'm like, what? And I don't know what time it is, and I'm very disoriented. But I feel like I need to keep pressing deeper regardless of the danger. I'm gonna take that buttress walkway. Let's see what's in there. A pillar-filled sanctum. Ooh, so we have +6. How many? 2 passages. So let's roll the first passage, and that's a parapet. And the second passage, collapsed tunnel path. Let's see, which one do we want to go through first? I think we'll take the parapet. Let's roll it. We travel through the parapet, and we find a bloody sacrificial dais. Oh, we didn't roll danger in the last room. We need to do that. So before we come into this dais, I'm going to backtrack and roll that danger. Oh shit. Okay. Should have just kept on forgetting that. +10 challenge. Logic test. Navigation. Interesting. Because a navigation test in a single sanctum like this, I think it implies this is a really big room full of pillars. I think the navigation Benny that I'd be looking at is a level 10 navigation challenge. It reveals a +5 loot cache if you notice the pillars are lined up to show the layout of the dungeon. And I'm just gonna fail this roll because it's a +10 challenge of logic and I'm stupid, but let's roll it. Wow, almost +8. What a waste of a great roll. But still not enough. But it is a no but, so that's kind of fun. I wonder if there would be a but that I would catch from this. I don't think there's anything that's gonna show me about this. It's not that's going to give me this cache. So at least I noticed that there's something, there's some sort of thing going on here that I want to maybe look at again someday when I'm smarter. All right, back to the bloody sacrificial dais. Okay, let's finish that section. Oh, we found a kitchen. A bloody sacrificial dais in a kitchen. And the path situation is +5, which is 1 path, or excuse me, 2 passages. So this might be a good dungeon for maybe finding that Evernether. Let's see. First, we'll roll 1 path, and we see a gantry. Fungus veiled crevasse. I feel like I should learn my lesson with these funguses. So we have to roll the challenge for the kitchen with the sacrifice dice. Okay, we're safe. Let's roll loot. No. Okay, so through the gantry, we're gonna find a submerged shrine. Single path, what is it? Arced overpass. Interesting. So we see this submerged shrine in the middle of the room, and there's an arched overpass that we can climb up to go to the next room. We need to roll the danger. We're okay. Let's roll the loot. Ooh, okay, so we have shabby loot. I'm gonna leave it. Through the arched overpass, we find stepped library. And what's the situation? Ooh, another 2. Yeah, this is a big dungeon. And there's a good chance we might find what we're looking for here. So that's great. Finally finding a real promising area. So let's look at both these paths. First one is underwater tunnel, observation loft. Let's roll the danger. We're okay. Let's roll the loot. Nope. I think we'll take the observation loft. Half flooded, cell block, underwater tunnel. Oh, that's the that 03 is the room roll, so that means there's 3 passages off of this one. Crazy. So yeah, there's a real good chance we're gonna find the Evernether in this dungeon somewhere, because we have so many paths already with only 7 dungeon rooms so far. 7 room dungeons. All right, so let's roll all 3 of these. A pillar top path, and rafter space, and hung iron chain staff. Crazy. Let's roll the danger. We're safe. Let's roll the loot. Nothing. I think we will explore the pillar top path. After traveling this pillar top path, we find half-flooded barracks. Wow. And another 2 path, cracked marble arch. Isn't that how it is? You know, you just have nothing forever, and then you find a dungeon that's probably going to be like a mega dungeon. That's what I love about this game. Tunnel behind wall. Okay, let's roll the danger. Oh, we got a little danger here. So we have a +3 challenge, restraining something. Interesting. +3 restrain. I think that this is going to be a denizen, but a weak and small one, maybe even a child, or a small goblin. I'm gonna say it's a goblin child that I see in this flooded barracks. So if I don't catch this goblin, it's gonna potentially run out ahead and tell more goblins that I'm here and get me in some trouble. So I think those are the stakes. So it's a level 3 restrained strength. I'm at +1 strength, and that's it. So I'm just gonna roll it. And so that's a 9 to 6. That's a -3 failure. So I'm gonna pull that vigor. Actually, I'll pull off grit because I think I got beat up a little bit wrestling with this kid. And the kid gets away. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 1 to the danger level for the rest of this delve as a result. So I'm going to go through that tunnel behind the wall. Let's see what we find. Actually, first I'm going to loot. All right, nothing good. Go back to that tunnel. Let's see what's there. 40. Cracked floor. Silent feast hall. So that is a +4. So there's 2 exits. Ledge walk and cross beam perch. And so let's roll the danger. And so it'll be +1. Oof. So now it's an 11 to 6, which is +5 challenge. Rapport test taunt. And so a taunt is usually when you're trying to draw fire to yourself from someone else or to provoke someone to fight. Well, I'm going to do myself a favor because it's just what I thought of. I'm going to say the cracked floor in this silent feast hall and the ledge walk that I hear a commotion, and it's actually that same goblin child now being pinned up in the rafters by a big denizen. I'll roll the denizen, but I think the idea will be that I try to taunt the denizen towards me because I can see that the beam is weak right behind him, and he'll fall down into that crack in the floor if I can get him to come towards me. So I'm going to roll the denizen real quick, and then we'll see how it went. Stitch, snarling, tunnel, dwelling, raider. So this raider's in the rafters, and he's about to attack this screaming little goblin child. And I'm like, hey! And what should we say? Like, this is a level 6. We've got +1 rapport. We do have a convince. So +2. I still need a +4. I'm gonna say, look out! There's more behind you. Come this way. Let's see if we get lucky. We don't. And so that, because of to 10, is -3 sanity, because you lose sanity when you mess these up. These mental things. He doesn't fall for it, and he turns his attention back to the goblin. I kind of want him to kill that kid, I guess. I mean, I don't really see a reason to get involved with this. So maybe I could just slink on. They're up on the crossbeam perch. I'm gonna take the ledge walk and like run out of here, and yeah, let Jesus take the wheel, man. Let's see what happens. Let's run to the next room. All right, what's in the next room? And here we find half-flooded cistern. All right, and what's the exit situation? Ooh! I think we found Evernether. Let me double check. Don't get too excited yet. Yes, -6. Dun dun dun! Okay. And of course, it's like mid-fight. Evernether entrance, people. Finally. God, we've had to hunt so hard today. Let's count how many map spaces we've looked at. This is insane. We've been plugging away. All right, so let me bring up the map so you can see. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 map spaces, I think, is what we created today. That means we did 1/5 of the entire map of the world of Ruenhorn. And it just goes to show how easily you can generate and how quickly you can generate right as you play a world. Because what's great about this map is it's giving you like some basic stuff that's hard to generate effectively without making a mess. Like where's some roads, where's some rivers, the Evernether, but it doesn't describe what those places look like or what's in them. You just know a road's there. That leaves it wide open for, all kinds of unique characteristics that we can create. And because of these different biomes, there's, distinct ways that different areas behave that doesn't take a long time to put together. You can just go with it. You can just go out there and vibe, man. You can just go and explore. And that was really fun. It's weird. I look at so many solo plays and people play really short games and I'm like, I don't know. And they act like it takes a lot of effort or concentration to play these games. And I just disagree. I think when it's fun, it's fun. And I can get so sucked into this stuff and just be so excited. Like I had to stop and eat but I came right back to it because I just couldn't leave it alone. I had to find the Evernether. And so I think we explored was it only 2 dungeons or was it 3? I don't even know. It's been such a crazy day, but I hope you love this content and I hope you'll keep on journeying with me. So next episode, Evernether, people, we're going to go get these kids. We're going to go hopefully get Breck to come along too so I can push him off a cliff with his smug butt. And we're going to find out what's waiting for us in the Evernether. All right. So thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the spiral, my friends.